You
I'm gonna
can
share
work your
this.
magic.
Alright. Can you all see the stream yet? There we go. Okay, so first of all, you have two units. You got the infantry unit, light one, and you got the heavy infantry unit. Now, like people mistake them for tanks, but this is actually World War One, not World War Two. So the light infantry unit is very mobile compared to the heavy infantry unit, and that's its main advantage. But the heavy infantry unit has actually 2 times the HP of it, so it does twice the amount of damage. It also does twice the amount of damage than the infantry unit in plains tiles and in hills tiles, like this. In forests, you're gonna get this symbol if you turn on. So, also an important thing to know is if you open up the spacebar, you pause the game when you're against like bots and all that, or in replays, and you can set up to see orders, to see health. I'm actually gonna turn off everything so you can actually figure it out. So, turn on health by 2, turn on morale 3, flags to mark cities 4, stats so you can see how many troops each player has, really important, keep this on. 6 icons, really important, keep this on. This tells you about things that is affecting your units. So notice how these units don't have this because these units are in a forest tile. This is plains, these are forests, hills, mountains which are uncrossable, and water. Now, basically, once we got over a little bit about the terrain and what light and heavy units are, we're gonna get a little bit into the health. Now, each unit has a health bar. So, I believe, let's check the guide. Like, I believe that the light infantry units have 100 HP and tank units have 200 HP. So, tank units have more double the HP. These ones, light ones, cost 200 funds. Tank ones cost 400 funds. So, if my entire army was consisting of heavy units, it would cost the same amount of upkeep as having a full army of light units, but I'd have twice the amount of troops available. But of course, they cost more to make and all that. So later on, I'm gonna get into this. Not gonna get into that right now. So that's HP. 100, 200. This is blue is morale. Now this is sort of the more important stat. Now, when units hit other units, like they drain their HP bar and they drain their morale bar, they use the morale basically to amplify the damage. No matter how low HP a unit is, the morale is going to amplify the damage. Now, I don't know the exact math, but you basically pro players, they always rotate their units like this. So this is rotating units. This guy's low on morale, you rotate them in. This guy's low on morale, you rotate them in. Eventually, that causes you to, you see this guy, he's already cracking. This guy's gonna crack too. And you just keep cycling. Now, we're gonna get into that part a little bit later. First, I wanna explain the basics. That was HP, that was morale. Now, next thing I wanna get into is terrain. So, in plains tiles, which is this, the light infantry units and tank units, basically tank units move slower than light infantry units, but it's unobstructed. They all get like their max movement speed. In forests, which is this, tank units are slower a bit. Infantry units, same speed. But tank units lose their double damage that they have in the plains tiles, like this. You also got sand and snow and mud, but that's a little bit for later. This is just generic. So basically, you should always avoid using your heavy units in forests because they lose their attack advantage. You should always use them in sand, hill, plains. And in mud they lose it and all that, but that's a little bit more advanced. And also in sand, the infantry units move about the same speed as a tank. The tank does not lose speed. So if you got a beach, which is usually like something like this, not like this, but like imagine there's a beach here, like so infantry units would be moving the same as a tank, but he does the same amount of damage as a plane tile. And in hills, tanks are a little bit slower, but they got full damage. It's not like forests. It's really important to use terrain to your advantage. So a pro player here would use these tank units not like to push them through here, like through the forest. They would push them around into the plain tile. Use the full morale to weaken these units, like so. I need to hide this thing so I can see. And then just like swing these guys as the replacement and all that. And you use light infantry units on the side to pin the reinforcements so your dudes don't get encircled. So those are some of the key concepts and all that. Like, I'm just gonna try and get through it fast, not waste anybody's time, either mine or yours. So units that don't have morale still do damage, but not as much. You should really avoid like attacking with units with low morale. The only reason why you would attack like with low morale is, for example, like they're pushing up to your city, which is here, and you need to stop them at all costs. You're gonna just like funnel people into them to stop them and all that. You should always use your heavy units to do the damage, but you should be smart about it. Basically, there's a meta in the game that there's like God mode, basically. So I'm not sure if I'm pretty sure there was like some kind of a description about it here by a picture. So, God mode, basically. So, the first unit attacks the opposing unit. This unit loses the HP. The second unit that attacks does not lose HP. So, if I use this light unit and then attack with the heavy, well, that's a bad example because only I could speed up single player. Oh, you can. There you go. So, you see, spending all the morale, but I'm not spending the HP. Now, this is really important on tank units. Tank units are super fucking slow. Watch this. Watch the time that it's gonna take for this infantry unit to get to this city. And also, this guy is getting completely fucked. Keep this guy out of the forests. Rotate even though I'm against AI because force of habit. You see that? Much faster. Also, this guy gets slowed down by the forest. So, oh yeah, he's not showing the icon because he's got a healing icon too. So basically, like, you should be using your infantry units to rotate and be the cheap meat grinder. And you should be using your tank units like this to heal up, but only when they waste their morale and all that. I'm just like going through it right now. So like it's really important to like spend the morale of units and then pull them back. Like for example, this guy's empty. Okay, now I'm gonna pull him back. He's gonna regain a little bit of this HP. He's gonna regain all that morale, and it's just gonna keep whacking him. Like I'm not even playing. Like I'm explaining. I know it's AI and all that, but you see like 40k troop lead just off of rotating you and using that morale. Also using the natural advantage of units. You don't use your tank units in the forest. So basically, like the God mode bit is really important because you're trying to not spend the HP on the tank units, but put them back here, let them heal up, let the morale build up, then smack them back in. So sometimes you don't want to give up territory, so you can like, for example, I wouldn't want to give up here, so like I could just keep rotating my tank units in. I don't want to give up this, so I can keep rotating my tank units in. I don't want to give this because then he can encircle me and all that. Things like that. As you naturally learn like how to use and abuse mechanics, you also get like plans and ideas. I don't have to tell you how to encircle, you're gonna figure it out yourself. Now, every army runs on its belly, and the belly right now in this game is the funds. If you have way too many units, your units literally start like dying out and all of that. So how do you gain funds like at the beginning of the game? Look at this. I'm gaining 1 funds, right? Put this guy on the city, 2 funds. Put this guy on this city, put this guy on this city, use this guy as cover, pull this guy back because I feel bad for him. And you're gonna see I'm gaining income. So the whole trick about the game is basically like you start off with the maximum amount of troops that you can have, and you don't gain any income. In the start, you can do 2 options. Either attack with the extra forces that you have, depends on how the map is laid out, or you pull back the units to fill up all of your cities. Now, on maps like this, you really should pull back at least these 2 cities, because otherwise I can just like make a boat go over here. By the time you react, I already took a free city. It's GG. Also, basically in this game, as soon as you lose a single city, you lose. Like the dude is gonna outproduce more units, out heal. You're basically, unless you can grab it back quickly, the longer the time's ticking, you lose. Make sure you hold on to your cities. Now, this one is the most important city. You can see it by the star. This is your capital. Now, this one is really important because if you lose it, you don't gain any income at all. Like, at all. Even if you have all of his cities and all that, and he has your capital, you're not producing any income. So, if a dude takes your capital, and if you don't retake it within like a minute or so, it's GG. You lost. This is your main like defensive unit. Now, I'm gonna get into this a little bit later in the advanced stage of the tutorial, but like as a beginner player, if you fight somebody like Gert McSlammer, somebody that's definitely gonna fuck you up, like no regarding how good you are, you just like stall with time. As soon as you lose like the first city, like here, pull everything back around the capital. Make sure you waste this time. Think about the macro scale, because even though you might have lost, there is a whole world around you that's fighting. If you're wasting every minute of Gert McSlammer's time, that's another minute that he's not pushing this part, and that's another minute that somebody that's winning on our team is pushing this part. So you never surrender, and you always hold on to your capital. Like, that's the most important rule. Now, I gotta pause for a sec. Alright, so we went over that part. Now, the income bit, like, so you basically, like, you should always have a superior you should always have an advantage over your opponent, but also income. Like, income is really important. Also, you should leverage your income. You should never really have, and I fall into this trap a lot, like 1,000, like, like income on the side. Like if you got such an amount of money, start fucking producing units. Like you gotta like use your income to leverage any kind of advantage over the enemy and all that. That's why if you lose a city, you lose the game basically. To produce units, you press the number 7, and now you have these lines. You can click on a city. I can't do that while it's paused. If you click on a city, it loses the line. So that means these cities will not produce a city. It will not produce units, sorry. On the side, you have sliders. This is basically a percentage slider and all that. In every game, I want you to start off, put the slider on minimum. After you're done setting up like your beginning moves, because you have time, first you have to do the beginning moves of your units, then go into the production menu and set it to minimum to prevent mistakes. Then you either do whole lights or heavies. You gotta pick. In this kind of a map, I would do all lights because like there's a lot of forests and I want to be able to rotate and like be flexible and all that, like But like for some maps, like I don't know, like if it's just plains in between the two of you, all heavies would do you. But I would first start off with a few light units, then switch over to the heavies. Then there was the whole strat, if you remember, about the boats. So if your unit is a boat unit, it does not cost upkeep. So like for example, that game where I showed where I moved all my units, like well, I'm gonna show it right now. 1 second. So basically, where are you at? I think it's this one. Yeah. So I'm just gonna speed it up. The whole clip does not matter, but what's important here is look at how my income is going compared to his. He has units on his cities. I have units on my cities. What gives? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 both units, he only has 3. My income is much faster than his. In some stagnant games, like if you play free for alls, which are dumb, like you can like use boats to like gain an economic advantage over foes. You can also do them in 1v1s where you're comfortable in holding in the front line, like But for example, here he might have like picked up a few of my units, but I have the economic advantage that I can just pump out new ones and then pump out a few more and then make up for it and all that. You can sort of leverage that. That's just like something that's important for you to know. Now, cycling units. This is the main like lesson. Whoop,
May
wrong thing.
I speak up for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, something I wanted to mention is like in 1v1s you really shouldn't make tanks in most cases, because like you will, especially in the lower lieges, every unit counts, and if you're making tanks you're basically down 3 units. That's what I notice a lot of the times. If there's literally not a C between you and you have like there's basically a stalemate, there's no reason for making tanks. Like I would never make tanks in 1v1s.
Well, it's a
It's just
matter of
not a
playstyle, but like sometimes when you go on long, drawn out games against players, like sometimes like making
yeah, of
tank
course
units
it
can
makes
actually like save you.
skill
But like
matters.
like he said, that's a really good point. Like so basically you should actually like leverage light units more. Why? For example, like you have like a few more, let's say like more income than a dude, like you started out as the same units but he didn't place his units on the cities and all that. You're just gonna have a natural like advantage in troops just because you pumped out troops faster, and that's it. So is that, are you done with that part, or are we
It's
gonna
fine.
like?
You're doing great. It's very
Yeah,
informative.
cheers, thanks. I'm just going basically off my list. I didn't write a script. I see a topic and then I go into it. So I basically went through like the most important, well, the most basic bits, but like everything that sets you up for the main thing. Now this is how you basically play the game. Now that so for example, this is a shitty map and all that for like. This is not a part of the lesson, sorry, but like I'm just gonna like at the start gonna pull back my units here to the city and all that, like because this is such a shit start for blue for red. But basically, you attack with 3 units here, pull 3 units here as reserve. This is my reserves, right? I'm not even like putting anything on my cities yet. This is advanced cycling. So here you go. They're kicking their ass. You're trying to get like a 2-to-1 advantage. You can even open up the front line like this. And as soon as their bars are low, get these motherfuckers in there. Get these motherfuckers in there. You can even completely pull back the front line. Most players are just shocked, and they do like this. The AI is right now, and they don't even react like counter push. They just let their units get hammered like this, and you just keep cycling, keep cycling. You move these units onto the cities and all that, and here you go. You can also get like cheeky encirclements and all that here. The most important part, holding the front line. Over here, most important part, holding the front line. Over here, I'm just pushing units and cycling and all that. So cycle this guy out. This guy is over extending. You can pull the front line back, keep attacking here. Make sure that these guys aren't like regaining HP. Look at this. So this is about the distance you need to be from enemy units to heal up. You see that? So as long as you're pushing his units, he's not healing up. If you're near his city, he can't use that city to heal. So the whole point of the game is to cycle your units with fresher ones. And just keep cycling. Never let your units die, like I'm letting a dude die here, you see that? Like I'm actually using a lot of my force just to keep him alive. I know that this city will not cycle, so I won't put him here, I'll put him over here. So basically the cycling bit is you just like pull weak units off, put strong units on. Anybody that has morale, push him forward. Here I have a complete like, I know it's a DAI, but like it's still informative. Here, because I have the advantage, like of course, light units versus heavy units in the planes, I just push forward, crushing him. And those kinds, that's the most important lesson you can have. Like basically, I know I'm not doing the cycling a lot here. It's because I'm sort of explaining things a lot, but basically like always keep units on these cities, always keep them healing and all that, always keep them fresh. You can also look at this. This line is stagnant. Some players like fall for that. You can pull back a dude, heal him up a little bit. Now this guy has morale, so I'm gonna just pull him back. Plus these guys are getting attacked. And you just keep rotating. Keep rotating. Keep sending in fresh units. And you see what the AI is doing? Unfortunately, a lot of players are doing the same thing. They get panicked and they don't rotate anything. You have so much land to give up here before you get to the cities. The area around the cities is what you should be actually protecting. And also pulling back allows you to actually go for cheeky encirclements. Not if you have this much of a troop disadvantage. So that was sort of the shown the lesson of how to cycle and all that. Production, basically, I showed you the money, I showed you how to produce. In my opinion, in the beginning of the game, you should just do this, figure out where's the front line gonna be, these spots, turn off production so that you can cycle units onto healing. Also, don't fall for this trap. If you keep the bar open, you can't actually select units. This is how to mark things. So, basically, at the beginning of the game, I highly encourage you to try and keep the front line off for yeah, it needs to be unpaused. Keep it off for the frontline cities like here, here, and here, and keep the backline cities as production cities for two reasons. First of all, distance. It's a lot easier to cycle your dudes here to here, especially if you're pushing him back, and now the dude can actually heal on the damn city. And on top of all that, when you're pulling in fresh units at the beginning of the game, when you send 2 health units out from here and dudes are already rotating from here, you already have an advantage over a dude that's not doing the same thing. Just through cycling, you can beat 60 to 70% of your opponents. Why? They don't do the same thing. Now, an important bit is also the front line. So, you see as... 1 second. Also, to switch between produce and the orders, you press 7, 1. 1 is for orders, 7 for production. So you see how the front line bobs and weaves. Basically, if you leave a unit exposed and all that, they're gonna get their asses encircled. Now, how would I demonstrate this? I guess this would be the best way by pushing over here. Yeah, so you see, I'm pushing his front line over here, and now these units are encircled. When your units are encircled and the front line is not connecting them, they immediately start losing HP. It's just like when you don't have enough funds, you basically are not producing enough supply for them. You should always avoid this. You avoid this by not being over ambitious. Good players do not encircle a lot, believe it or not. Good players fighting against other good players do small movements, just cycling, withering the enemy down. The other guy that tries to do the encirclement, he's the one that ends up in a situation like this usually. I'd have replays probably ready by next training session and all that to show you exactly what I mean, but basically always avoid this. And tactically, this is the best thing you can do to win the game, because you're basically eating up his units for free. Look at that. I don't actually even have to fight him. Look at this. Look at this. I don't even have to fight him. He's just gonna die on his own. Look. Poor little guy. Now you see here, I'm getting pushed. Didn't really see this here because I'm explaining shit. This is actually pretty easy because this unit can hold, and you just gotta stick this guy towards the wall and all that. And you can use this guy because I'm not really worried because he sucks as an AI. And cutting him off, cutting him off. You see the city's holding because these guys don't have a lot of HP, and you just cut off a whole attacking force. They're just gonna die off. You can also speed it up by splitting them up into 2 separate pockets. They die too fast. Basically, each pocket, eats up 1 unit at a time. So when you have a bunch of units inside a pocket and you need to eat them up ASAP, if you split them up, you eat them up faster. Now, that's basically the front line of the supply. Do not let your units get encircled. Also, if your city gets encircled, you no longer get the income boost off of it. Now, if you think like encircling cities and units around it would start killing off the cities, but no, basically, like if, like for example, this city is encircled and it has 5 units around it, it can still survive. Why? Because each city produces enough supply, which is five income per second. That means 5 units. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 units and this guy, if as long as there's one guy on the city, they can stay inside the pocket and be encircled, and they don't lose HP. If you have more than 5 inside the pocket and not one on the city, you're gonna lose units. So sometimes you can actually be clever and let a dude fake surround your city. Meanwhile, you have the actual reserves going around and you encircle his entire army and win. I'm only saying this because I had it happen to me 3 times and you feel like a god after. So that's that lesson and all that. Now, boats. So when you move units across the water like this, you basically lose HP. I'm just gonna do this because I can't stand, my ego can't stand losing a city. Yeah, basically like, telling you, it's an ego thing. So basically, when a unit moves through the water, it takes damage. A boat unit also takes damage over time, but notice how this guy is losing more HP, even though they're the same guy. So when you're doing water crossings, this is the worst. If you get attacked during this, like your unit is gonna take some motherfucking damage and he's not gonna be in the fight for a long while. So you can stop a unit, and after 3 seconds, he turns into a boat unit. Now also, he doesn't cost upkeep anymore. So now you get like more. I'm sorry, it's literally a force of habit at this point. Like, but basically, like, you can also gain upkeep like this, or if you're trying to do a cheeky naval invasion, yeah, it's risky, but as a side effect, you're also gaining extra cash for it. So the more units you commit, the more units you're getting back sooner, if you get what I mean. And if they make it back and survive and all that, you still get the extra income, but like the units are alive. You didn't waste more cash to build more units. Now, an important bit is, now this is going to take a while because tank units are slow. Light ship unit. I work for this is basically like half a memory and all that. Like, it's mostly correct. Light units are the fastest on in the water, and they are really good at fighting heavy units in the water. But heavy units are really fucking good at making a naval landing. So let's say this blue unit was like pushed up along the beach. Like, can I push him up? Like, this guy can push through him. There we go. There we go. Stop right there, please. Demonstration. You see that? He can push through him. There you go. Land. So you use like basically tank units to push through and make the landing, and then like light units behind them and all that, and let you use the light ships to counter other light ships. But ideally, if you see a dude retreating his tank units, if you turn 1 or 2 of your units into light units and like destroy his tank unit, you're doing yourself such a fucking massive service. Like, such a massive service. Each tank unit you take off of the enemy is like a massive advantage you can have over anybody, because tank units are a bitch to get like their HP back up. So that's basically the boats, the boat types, their damage and all that. Cool tip that I heard off a dude like 2 days ago was apparently like heavy units, which is like basically his tank units as a boat, they do more damage to a light unit like this or in a forest than tank units do to a regular unit in the forest. Now that's anecdotal. I don't know if it's true or not, but like there you go.
Hello
So
there.
that
Would you like to recap me on what you already taught them so I don't actually overspeak on stuff you already said?
so basically I went through like HP morale. First, like I explained like the difference between light units and heavy units. I explained like HP morale, what it is, what it does, terrain, how it affects damage, how it affects the units, movement, and all that. Basically, what terrain does. Damage
Okay.
done with morale, damage done without morale. Light unit versus heavy unit damage. Basically, that full HP heavies, even though they don't get the combat bonus, they still do more damage in forests than light units when they're both full HP and full morale, just because the tank unit has double the HP, so it produces double the damage. Cities, income, capital loss, like if you lose your capital, production, cycling, frontline and supply, and now I went over the boats and all that. And that's basically like basic training. Like, now
Alright.
advanced would be basically like, let's say, like, tactics, but I'll let you speak so I can go smoke a cigarette.
Alright, let's talk about advanced tactic newbies. Let's hop on War of Dots. I don't think I could try and share my screen, but I'm pretty sure it takes up my mouse, so I can't see. I'll try though. If not, I'll have someone else stream it for me. In fact, actually, let's have a 1v1 with Sleepy, shall we? You
Sure.
up for it, Sleepy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Only Sleepy joins, and someone who's got to stream it for us. The code is TALV, capital T. Just Sleepy join, and I try to share my screen if possible. Get your screen, general TALV. Why does it always get rid of my mouse? What the heck? Oh, Hatchy backed out of it, sorry.
I don't know. I don't have that problem from the looks of it.
I do. Like anytime I try to share my screen, it always does.
I haven't
Sharing.
changed anything.
Let's say try share it on something else. Sleepy can share. All right. Sleepy can share. All right. I'll be. Join back again if you want. Code is. Oh, I'm already in. Nice. And let's do a flat map,
Wait.
like more of a
Yeah.
flat map.
So I didn't know which map you wanted to play on, so I just left you be the host. And rejoin.
Let's do this map because this is one of the generated maps the AI has. We'll do this one.
Okay.
Do we have someone else? No, he's currently having a cigarette. Okay. Never mind. It'll just be me and you then. I won't be able to stream, so that'll be a bit unfortunate since I'll be talking and all that. But we can do it off your vision. Obviously, first up, you want priorities when you attack. Normally, what I like doing is I like shoving everything to the front straight off the bat. No hesitations. No units on a city. They get the economy advantage, but I get the bonus advantage. It's what I do all the time, and it works. But since I have a forest here, I want to hold it against his tanks, while also pushing here. We want to do priority cycle up north right now. Priority cycle. As soon as a tank is out of morale, I pulled that tank a bit early, but as soon as it's out of morale, we want to pull it back. It's most efficient when it has morale. You want to make sure you keep in touch with all your units. This is how you do the offense. You can be a bit more chill in defense, but this is the basics of offense. Make sure you get 2v1s, all that. If you don't, you're going to start losing manpower. If you do, that's great. If it's a stale map, then you want to build heavies. If it's not, then tanks. Normally in snowy maps, you want to build heavies.
Maps, though.
There's a lot of stale maps. There's a lot of them. You'd be surprised. I spent over like 2 hours in one of them. I mean, that was a river map, but still.
Yeah, river maps are like, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
What?
And I've just encircled his tank, which is great, because if I do kill it, he's got to be a tank down. Unfortunately, I don't kill it, but I still get quite a couple of damage on it. We want to keep on cycling our tanks though to make them more fresher than his. So these are game changers in casualty rates. At the same time, we want to try not to lose units, like I'm doing right now. Unfortunately. I mean, I've been streaming for too long, man. Sheesh.
It's fine.
Yeah. Ideally, you want to try to get these 2v1s, what Sleepy's doing right now. And you want to make sure you don't leave your units in the open to get 2v1, obviously. Now, Sleepy's going for infantry, I think. I don't know, I didn't pay attention to that.
Yes.
I'm going to go with a tank, more of a tank approach. Probably wouldn't help me since he has the
If you are
advantage.
behind,
and
you should never make tanks. Like, you're 20k behind.
Yeah.
What's the thought process of making
Yes.
tanks? How are you gonna come back?
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely need infantry for the cycle speed. And I am going to try to talk throughout this entire thing. But if you are losing, don't like fully push back your fronts. Lord does it against me sometimes, and it works because I don't pay attention. But you want to fall back slowly, too fast, but slowly, because you're getting closer to your cities, and you're gonna get a better micro advantage, cycle advantage at least. It's defo key to winning. And I have closed the gap a bit more because of it.
Yes.
Always make sure if you are losing, make sure who has closer city cycling. I've just closed that 20k gap into a 10k gap.
Lost a bunch of units. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I've lost a bunch of units, unfortunately. It's been ideal not to. Unfortunately, such things do happen in such games. You can't see everything, but it is ideal that you do a checkup on everywhere in your front, at least.
My game is pretty laggy today, so I haven't been just playing much in general.
I've cut my power. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, I'm currently trying into the ocean. I need to make sure I'm not getting tunnel visioned. If I do that, then he's got to gain the lead.
As long as my tank is in order, it's not gonna get pushed. That's how it basically works.
Yes. As long as that's in order, it won't get pushed into the water. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and now your tank is gonna die slowly. So you just
Yeah,
pushed a bit
slowly
too hard.
will die. Yeah, that is my unfortunate weakness. I do become too aggressive at points of times. This is something you need to keep in mind.
Yeah, not every opportunity you see is actually an opportunity. Sometimes.
Yes, it could be a trick. Tricks what I normally fall for too easily. Normally why I like straight lines, because such things can't do this to me.
Yes, always keep straight lines. That's the best thing you can do.
Is the best. It's a thing I always like doing, but unfortunately I've not been able to keep up with keeping straight lines at least. Unfortunately, I do lose a tank. A Sleepy here, if he really wanted to, he could just start building tanks and be okay with it. Since he has the troop lead, he has all the time in the world. Yeah, you don't need to, but you have the opportunity to be able to do that to gain you a future lead. I believe Gurf did that to you in one of these games, right? Correct?
I'm not sure. Which game do you mean exactly?
I think it was Lava, sorry. So Lava went up against Girth, and since it was a still map and Lava made infantry, troop counts weren't going down that fast, so Lava made infantry and Girth made tanks, and Girth overcame in a strong lead. Hopefully this game is a great example to help you understand how it goes. My brain is smarter than my actual micro skills, as you can see.
The best way I at least win usually is just by pinning units like here in this peninsula.
Yes, it is a great idea.
At least in a high elo, that's like the only way you can actually kill units because they actually have the APM to just always pull it back if it's not pinned.
Yeah.
In lower elos, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, always make
much,
sure you
just
get
die
pinned.
in the front.
In the descent.
Well, it's fine, not everyone has the APM, especially if they're new to the game. There's a lot to think about.
Yeah. I mean, I do have a perfect example on Lord. So we can look at that and we can see what I did. Since it was pretty good, that one was. Because Lord is a very skilled player on the red team. Currently our thing is 1-1 each. In fact, I'll send that to you, Sleepy, since you can actually, share your screen. I think I'll be able to share my screen since I'll just be watching. I won't actually be moving my mouse around.
However you like. I mean, as you can see with the income-wise, you are quite far behind. Sure, I don't have units, units in my cities, but you're 10 units behind nearly.
Indeed. So at this point, I might as well. Yeah, because at this point, I might as well surrender.
That's what I mean. There's no way I will lose units if you're not pinning them. We'll always pull them back.
Right. Let's check a replay. This one is defo the best game I've had so far.
Yeah. I think you should
share screens.
Then I don't have to set it all up. Takes a while to get a replay, put it in a replay folder, etc.
Yeah.
Sorry, Calvi.
You are a robot right now, Anthony. Your connection is breaking up. Yeah, we can't hear you.
For some reason, it won't let me share screen.
Basically,
I'll disconnect.
Tell me if we
rejoin.
Could Trooper speak.
Oh, thank you. Okay, I can share. I still can't share. Weirdly.
A couple of people that want to speak, but I don't know if Tally can actually put units in the podium. Can he? Who can actually?
I do not.
Is it only, not only
you can hear me, right?
Yeah, we can.
All right,
hear
it
you.
looks. I do hear you.
Okay. So I don't know how prevalent this is on how often it happens in matches, but I had a match where I'll share my screen. I can't. Where I was given 3 cities instead of the regular 4, and the enemy team red had 5 cities, but they had about half of their forces encircled. If you have one of those situations where half of your forces are encircled, but you have more cities, just camp, just wait it out, and just put as many units on your cities, and don't go on the offensive until you have 100k advantage.
Yes, that's what I've normally been doing in my river maps. I would just sit back and wait for them to cross the river to then destroy the army. Overwhelming skill, obviously.
I mean, I had the river map against Curly recently, and we pushed against each other a couple of times and then just made peace. Because we know it will take too long. Don't bother. Yeah. So against good players, I guess we just peace out. At least in river maps.
Yeah.
And honestly, that is probably the best option sometimes, because going across a river takes at least 50k to be able to get beachhead, even if they're defending it.
Yeah, what I like to do against river on river maps is actually pull everything back, let him like think he can actually go over the river, then let him like push a city, and then they basically all in him because he can't pull back easily. And by the time he pulls back, he's like 50k behind because he has to go over the river twice while my troops are attacking him from behind.
Another tactic, like if you don't want to just piece out if it's like a massive ocean map, like let's say 2 continents versus each other with an ocean in the middle, depending on the placement of your borders when you first spawn, you could maybe use a heavy to just not turn into a boat and just have a crawl on the bottom of the ocean to expand your borders, and so your logistics could be connected. That's what I did with one of my games and won it because of it.
Yes, because while boats don't change the borders, normal troops, of course, do. And if they are not next to a city, the borders won't change. So you can connect it like across the map, even if there are no units. Let's see. Well, there's 2 of them. Is it this one? Sidious?
No,
The
it should be
other
against
man is
Lord.
Lord.
That one. Yes. All right. This is the one. Everyone, look at Sleepy Sling right now.
Tell me if I have to speed up or speed down or stop.
You could speed up to 2 to 3 at the start. But obviously, at the start, what I do is I attack from the north because there's mountains, and that will cut his supply line. That's what I'm doing. And sorry, south. No, north, I'm not doing much. It's south. Yes, south. Obviously, I'm cutting that little gap in the middle, so he can't reinforce from there, and he'll have to reinforce all the way around. It will give me the cycle advantage. Because he has to reinforce around the mountain. I don't. Another thing I do is I cycle units what are depleted on HP and morale. I went with the early offense, and it's pretty even right now. I'm moving tanks, he's moving tanks. I move units off when he does. Or at least it takes me a bit of time to realize. There we go.
You're definitely
Right
in the
now,
better
it's
position.
yes. He has a little gap he can move his units from, but eventually I'll cut that off. That little gap right there. Eventually that'll be cut off, and his reinforcements will take longer to get here.
I think you had too many units at the top. There's no reason.
Yes, I do, but I'm keeping it similar to his because I don't want him to get a troop lead from it. But I legit just mirrored the top for him because I didn't want to make it where...
Yeah, but mirroring is
both
better for
things
him
are
in
weak.
this situation. Because you want to have as many units down here as possible.
Supposedly,
Yep.
yes, I suppose you're right.
So if you're fighting with more units, you have to cycle more, and you have to better cycle. I like that.
Indeed.
So in best case, you just attack for everything, but yeah. You do you.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, I mean, I was in the moment and I was trying to get revenge off him because last time he won. Because I
You're
didn't notice how
slow
far
pushing
away I
until
was
you
from
start.
my
Like
city.
you started like at the forest, I believe. You're pushing.
Yes. I'm pushing closer and closer.
Though these
That is a
units,
problem.
like, they shouldn't
This
be
is
at the
what
front.
Lord normally does. They shouldn't. They should have been pulled back a
Oh,
while
interesting. You
ago.
made a tank. Was that intentional? Like making
Yes, my intention was to make tanks from the start because if you look at the troop counts, they're not dropping that fast.
Yeah, it's
And
even.
this does help
basically.
me because he built an infantry unit at the start.
Could the people who are watching right now please check the chat?
Since
and write
no terrain,
attendance?
tanks are actually better because how slow everything is. Everything slows, moves slower, so it will take longer for units to die because damage is also lowered. Will make tanks in general just better.
Yeah, tanks you should have actually fought here. Like, there's no reason to fight here.
Yeah.
With the tanks at least.
I should have thought that. I mean, the problem is he has 3 cities he could cycle. I don't. I mean, I do, but is that closer? And that's the area I want to cut off. I want to cut off those 3 cities. If I fight there, then he's got to be able to use them. That was my understanding of the map when I was playing. Because I did think about it, but then I thought, well, he's just got to use those 3 cities to immediately cycle, and I'm not going to be able to do much about it. Keep on going. As you can see, I start gaining a bit of a troop lead, but it'll balance out in a bit. You turn it 3 times to 4 times speed now.
Oh, it's muted. Yeah, because you basically stopped attacking at least in the top. So you have been just hovering, not fighting much.
Yes, yeah. I want to fight as low down as possible because it was the furthest away from his cities, at least most of them. So
I think
that was my main.
bad idea to like pull back some of the yellow HP units a bit faster. Like, these units, they shouldn't be in the front anymore. More than enough units.
Yeah, they shouldn't. Indeed, I should have
units in the back
pulled
to heal, and right now you don't have anything in the back line that can actually cycle out.
But what really turns the battle tide is this tank, what's in the forest right now, is coming out of it, was the one I built. That will help me change the tides a bit more.
Yes, if you use it
I think
correctly,
I do
you can
improve
easily
with
collect
my...
2 infantry.
Yes. Yeah, I do improve my cycling a bit later on, I believe. At least. All I know is when I start getting that lead, I have an iron grip on it, and he wasn't able to catch up.
That would have been the perfect opportunity to stop Micro and tank.
Yeah.
It's like full HP tank with morale. Micro is like really strong. That's like the one thing where you have to pay attention with stop Micro.
Yeah. I tried to prioritize cycling tanks more than infantry.
That is correct.
Because I want them to be fresh, I want to be strong, because they do a lot of damage when they're full health and full morale.
Yeah, and they also have like a health regen buff. Like they heal more than infantry.
Yes.
So they're more valuable in the back if they're not full HP to heal.
But then at the same time, I don't want any of my infantry units to die either, because that will help him gain a lead.
I believe Lotus actually also.
I do cycle tanks. Yeah, he starts making tanks after the 1 infantry unit he made. I did get the advantage in building tanks first.
I would have pushed a bit more aggressively than you, but it works out either way.
Yeah, it does.
That's all that counts in the end.
Yes, it does. There has been times where I have like shifted a bit, but that's mostly because I needed reinforcements and I didn't want any of my units to die fighting over area, so I do fall back.
This is what
certain
naturally
areas.
happens after a long time in a battle in a line. It's not straight anymore. It's like this curvy, wavy form. And that's like really dangerous. For example, for these tanks, like if you can get like a little bit here to the right, you can pin it and then easily kill it with full morale units.
Yeah.
That's how I usually get my wins.
Yeah, that is probably. I might have done a sleepy in this game, to be honest.
Like these opportunities is what you want to get always. It
Yeah,
wasn't a
I
ton
try to get
win it, but it was still like really good to deal that much damage to a tank.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
Talvi and Sleepy, just
On.
1 second. Anybody who's been watching so far, you can just write attended in the chat, and then you're gonna get the promotion that you basically finished training. You can keep watching, but that basically summarized basic training. Thank you very much.
Very good, very good. Now, hopefully, you all should be better at War of Dots and take all this information we gave you to help the Blues out. But now, as you can see, I have a 10k lead, and you won't see that 10k lead drop at all. In fact, it'll eventually increase.
You're starting to get to the capital. He has not much space left to cycle, and you are very close
Yeah.
to stopping his healing on this capital.
Yeah. Another problem for him is that I have a troop lead and I'm keeping it as strong as possible.
I wouldn't actually do this. I would actually pull back to the city a bit more. Focus more
Yeah.
down here. Like you're trying to like match him always. That's fine, but like you can also like push down.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Supposedly
like,
my
close.
Supposedly, what I was thinking at this point was I need to keep this lead by matching him perfectly. I need to make sure he doesn't get any advantages over me in any points of the area, so I can keep the troop lead. I think I do trap pin an infantry unit. It's infantry. No, I don't. Close. It's close.
Yes.
I do get what I want, and that is cutting off his supply route to his capital right here. You see, I'll just leave like a little solid garrison, and I'll focus downwards. At this point, I'm having a 20k troop lead too. I'll start pinning. I will pin a tank, I believe. Yeah, the bottom tank right now, the red one. I pin it.
So, but you stop macro tank.
Yes.
That's okay. I would have pulled like the full morale units here and just instantly killed the tank.
Yeah.
But like as you can see, because you committed so much here, he counter committed here, and now both are like really committed in this area. That's where the
So
kills
two
happen.
fresh tanks, and I believe they were around fully HP, so I did just convert my fresh units over there instead. Because I knew the tank was going to die before he could break it out. Well, it does die. And I do save the infantry unit too, so that's nice.
That was the perfect outcome, basically.
Pretty much, yes.
Something to note here, still fine, but like if you're really close with your income, where you just make like one income, you should be a bit more careful with making units.
Yeah.
Because then you can really quickly get into the minus and lose a heavy that you just made. That happened to me multiple times.
And look at that
Make it fun.
knockout. First round.
Yeah. I was keeping track of it, so... And there was times where it started losing a bit of morale. I mean, money, but it was only because I was microing faster than I could actually... Cycling faster than I could actually fund. Either way, a little income boost does balance it out. And he does start attacking from the north too, because he's desperate. So what I do is I just push my
Look at
tanks
this
back.
front in the
because
south.
I'm-
There's like half his units are at HP. And they shouldn't be at the front
Indeed.
anymore. There's like no reason for them to be here. They deal 0 damage and
Yeah.
they tank 0 damage.
I believe he had like barely any units he could cycle with anymore, so he had no choice to apart from keep them there. And I had to start pulling up reinforcements up the north to counter-react his little push.
I mean, at this point, there's no way for him to win. You are 60k ahead. And you have more
Indeed, yeah.
units.
Yeah. And I do finish it off with a special little something before he surrenders. And I'll let you figure it out. Yeah. I get an encirclement off, right there, and there we go.
That broke his morale.
Yep.
Did not want to see his units attrition.
And not only that, I took him out of the game in total. Like, he couldn't play any other games after that because how mentally tired he was after this game because of me. That game was like about an hour or something like that, 30 minutes. So he was incapable of playing, because the next game he played, he also lost against a skilled person, but still lost. That's all I have. I'll see you all newbies on the battlefield while I'm just gonna go start streaming.
All right, everybody who attended today, thank you very much. I hope we're gonna bring some victories to
Yeah,
the
it
blue
was a great
team.
time.
Make sure you stay tuned. Like on the announcement, we're gonna be like planning trainings a little bit in advance. This was a little bit. Basically, I just like hastily cobbled this training event up. Next training events are going to be a little bit more organized. We're going to go into advanced concepts and we're going to keep like doing basic trainings for newbies like this. We're also probably going to be making like YouTube videos, like, just to make it easier for everybody so you don't have to like attend this at a specific time. So basically, thank you very much. Anybody who's attended, make sure you write attended in the chat, and that way you get your promotion and all that. Anyways, good luck on the battlefield, and once again, thanks for coming.